Welcome everybody, it's your boy Hunter, your online campus director. And I just want to let you know, Love Week is coming up. And we thought, because we're in our Throwback Summer series, we would throw back to the original message from Pastor Stu about Love Week. So why don't you check this out.
Good to see you. Well, I don't know if you can tell or not, but love is in the air, and commercialism is alive and well. So, and I know. Here's the thing. I know this is a big weekend for a lot of us. I hope you spent some money on your honey. I hope you bought some flowers or some chocolates or teddy. I mean, I hope you went all out in celebration of Valentine's Day. And I know there's some single folks here, and you're like hating on Valentine's Day right now. And I just want to give you like a little glimmer of hope. If you're single and you're ticked off about Valentine's Day, let me just say, you are the only one beating the system, all right? You are beating the system. You're not spending money tomorrow, and you should feel good about that. Plus, you can love Jesus for free, all right? So, that's great. This is a big week, and long ago, I didn't do my research, but long ago, somebody decided that Valentine's Day would be a holiday, and we would celebrate it and make a big deal about it. And I didn't like make any, go for any permission, so to speak, to do what I'm about to do. But I would like to take Valentine's Day a step further, if I may. I actually would like to make a new declaration today. And like I said, nobody gave me permission. There's no governing body in support of what I'm about to say. I'm not acting as an agent of the Commonwealth. I'll just tell you, though, I'm preaching 6 times today since we added the 12:30 service, and I think that pretty much gives me the right to say and do whatever I want. So, with that said, I hereby decree that beginning today, February the 13th, 2011, and continuing all the way until midnight, Saturday, February the 19th, this is, by my decree, Love Week. It's Love Week, everybody. Love Week. Love Week. Love Week. You're like, what is Love Week? What is? I'm going to tell you today. Because it probably is not exactly what you would think. In fact, I would say to you today that we have a distorted view of what love really is, especially in America. And I don't know if this is true everywhere else in the world, but in America especially, our view of Love Week is quite distorted. When you hear Love Week in America, immediately you think it's a week full of nothing but like mushy, gushy, lovey-dovey, feel-good. You think it's a week of whispering sweet nothings and boxes of chocolate and romantic dates and fireworks shooting off over the park bench as you kiss underneath and hot, steamy scenes from the latest episode of The Bachelor. This is what you think of when you think of Love Week. And some of you are like, I'll take some of that. And then there are others of you who are like, I got no time for that. Like, I got laundry to do this week. I mean, really. I got a business trip to take. I got like a paper to turn in. I mean, there's no time for this kind of Love Week, Stu. What do you think? Well, I want to write today the wrong view we have of love, because I think love is something that maybe we don't completely, fully understand. In fact, I would say to you today that all those things that I just described really isn't really categorizing love. All those things that I just described have to do with emotion and feeling, have to do with what is natural. But the truest, deepest, most sincere form of love isn't based on feeling, and it's not based on emotion, and it certainly isn't something that comes naturally. The truest, deepest, most sincere form of love is always an action. And so Love Week is a whole week set aside for the truest, deepest, most sincere form of love. It's a week where we're going to put love into action, where we're going to actually do something for those whom we say we love, displaying our love toward others, because love is always an action. In fact, I want to make sure you get that today. Love is always an action. What is love? It's always a what? An action. That's so critically important for you to understand. In fact, the reason why love has failed you before, the reason why love didn't work out for you, the reason why love quit in your first marriage or in your last relationship or with the way that you interact with your parents is probably because love wasn't an action. It was probably because somebody in the relationship began to make love more about an emotion or more about a feeling or more about having a personal need met or more about personal reward than they did about actually doing. And love, by its very nature, at the truest, deepest, most sincere form, is that which moves forward. It's that which does. It's that which responds. It's that which works. It's that which is in motion. And so this week, we're going to spend an entire week discovering that kind of love and putting it into action. A love that is the truest, deepest, most sincere form of love. It is Love Week. And I hope, genuinely hope, that you're ready for it. You know, this kind of love that I'm describing, a love that moves forward, a love that acts, this kind of love is best described in the Bible. In fact, it really is best described through a rather poetic portion of Scripture in the Bible. It's maybe familiar to you. Perhaps you've heard this portion of Scripture read, as it often is at the last wedding you attended, followed maybe by the singing of the Lord's Prayer. Our Father. Wedding music is always bad. Have you noticed that? I did a wedding yesterday. They didn't have a single lick of music, and I was so glad. I mean, it was like gravy kind of wedding. It was awesome. No music. That was perfect. Who art in heaven. The Bible describes love as action-oriented. This is what it says. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Now imagine if that were true in your marriage. Imagine if this kind of action-oriented, forward motion kind of love was true in your. Imagine if in your marriage you kept no record of wrongs. You never brought up past mistakes. Imagine what that would be like. By the way, that should be a rule in your relationship. No past mistakes. You just got to grow up and get over the past mistakes. You can't bring those up. Imagine if in your marriage there was nobody ever prideful. Imagine if nobody in your marriage was ever unkind. Imagine if this kind of love was true. Imagine if in your marriage nobody was ever self-seeking, fellas. This would mean that you never do anything just in hopes of getting something in return later that night. Imagine if you were not self-seeking. It's the kind of love the Bible. Imagine if nobody in the relationship was easily angered. This is the kind of love that the Bible describes. That means never irritable, ladies. Imagine. This is love described by the Bible. It goes on to say, let's keep reading, love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. You say, oh, wait, my love failed. A love in my life failed. I'll tell you why. Because it wasn't this kind of love. It was not a love that was action-driven. It was not a love that was forward motion. It was not a love that always acts. This is not a description of love that is based on emotion. This is not a description of love that you can fall in or fall out of. This is not a description of love that just goes with the heart and whatever it feels in the moment. This is a love that acts. And so we're going to spend an entire week understanding this love and trying to live it out. And really, the purpose of this message today is twofold. Number one, my goal is that you would leave from here with a brand new definition of love, and that you would go from this place desiring to live love out, that you would want to display love through action toward those in your life with whom you have current relationships. So all those people who you're currently involved in relationally, all the people that you say, oh, yeah, I love them. Oh, I love you, bro. Love you, sister. Love you, honey. All those people that you say you love, I want to encourage you today to leave from here with a brand new perspective on what that really should look like. And that kind of love must be lived out through an action, that you would go from this place today. My goal is that you would leave from here demonstrating that love in some form or fashion, some tangible way where you're actually acting on the love that you say you have for others. Married men, that means that you would do dishes this week, all right? This is my goal. Married fellas, this means that you actually pick up the phone and call just to say, I love you, baby. It means that you plan a romantic date. This is the kind of love I'm talking about. Married ladies, it means that you cook him his favorite meal this week. Married ladies, it means that you talk highly of him, that you respect him with your words, that you build him up and say encouraging things about him. Married lady, it means that you might even shave your legs this week for him. I know it's wintertime, but love is an action, y'all. You follow what I'm saying? This is the kind of love I'm talking about. If you're a parent, it means you show up at your kid's school and bring them Chick-fil-A just at lunchtime, just to surprise them. If you're a kid, it means that you go home and you take on an extra chore without being asked. Listen, this is the kind of love that says, hey, I'm going to take my boss Starbucks, or I'm going to pick up donuts for my employees, or I'm going to wash my neighbor's car. This is love that acts. This is love that moves forward. This is love displayed toward others. And every single one of us this week have relationships, and we're currently involved in, that need a love that acts. It's Love Week. It's Love Week. And that means that you leave from here impacting the current relationships you have. But more than that, my second goal is to try to encourage you, to motivate you, inspire you, guilt you if I have to, into taking that love and expanding it beyond those with whom you have a current relationship, but taking that love to a broader, bigger, more indiscriminate group of people. I want to encourage you today to fall in love with our community, the place where God has placed us, the place where we live and go to school and raise our families and go to work. I want you to fall in love with our community, the cities of Hampton and Newport News and Williamsburg and Poquoson and Smithfield and York County and Gloucester and Saluda. Saluda even needs love. You understand what I'm saying? You got to fall in love with the place that God has placed us in. And when you fall in love with our community, you'll be driven to act accordingly. You'll display love through action. In fact, this...
Wow, what an amazing message from Pastor Stu about Love Week. And it's so prevalent even for today. So if you want to get involved with Love Week, go to watersedgechurch.net/Love Week. And we can't wait for you to help us change the way people think about church. We can't wait to see you there. Y'all have a blessed day.